Hi guys, so I've got another video for you today. I recorded my session, and as you can see, today's date, and if I go here, it's at midnight, so we're at 16th, so the video I'm making is actually very late. But nonetheless, I wanted to try and keep you guys updated, and we'll jump straight into the video. So we had this session today. You've got 7 and 10 o'clock. Previously you've got the 15-minute fair value gap. I've got a little fair value gap 5-minute here, which has been tested. And what I'm assuming is we've got 8:30 here, okay? So what I'm thinking is we've got news coming out at 8:30, and then we've got FOMC as well later on today. It's already passed obviously, but at this point I knew that there was going to be huge moves back and forth wicks because we've got FOMC coming out. So you'll see that I actually trade and take a short, but when I do take the short there, so when I see this move happen right here, this one right here, I'm thinking that's a big move. We broke highs and we've got market shift right there. So I'm thinking that this is a fair value gap, and I decide to put in a sell order. You'll see that I don't get tagged in, so I've put in a sell order there, I get tagged in, and I decide to put in another order because when I jump down into the 1 minute, we're moving up to the smaller fair value gap at the top, and in the 1 minute you can see that's more pronounced. So we got a breaking structure, we broke a high, there's the structure, we've got fair value gaps, and we're also in this fair value gap on the 15-minute time frame prior to 7 o'clock. So that's what I was looking at when I changed time frames. If I continue forward, you'll see that I actually get my stop loss taken out right there. So I get taken out. I'm still thinking TP down here. Now I haven't changed my bias. I was wrong in terms of my entry. So what I do is I try and look for another entry because I think that was another push up to try and take out the highs here, and they're going to fall. So I was bearish for GBPJPY today. So I took a loss on the first trade, and you will see there, this is where I actually get into another trade. So I'm marking out a 3-minute fair value gap, that's a 5-minute fair value gap, and there's another 3-minute fair value gap. I decide to put in another sell limit, and I also put another sell limit at the top. So the market tags me in the first, no it doesn't. So what happens is it actually doesn't tag me, because you can see here previously that we actually went up. You can see this wick here, it's went above this line, but it's still not tagged me in. So what I decide to do is I actually enter in a market position, and actually I'll just show you that so that you can see. So right there is where I click the button, and you'll see that I just go straight in for the sell, and I close that limit just so that I don't have too many entries on the sell or shorting GBPJPY. So I'm putting the stop loss up at the top, and the market does that big wick down. That is where 8:30 has started now. So you can see I've moved my 8:30 line to match the open for this candle, and what we see is we push down. Now we have another fair value gap which I'm looking at, and I enter again, and you'll see when I enter again. So there's a fair value gap there. We've got this low. We've got consecutive red candles breaking this low right there. I'm moving my stop loss down, and there's a fair value gap here. So what I decide to do is I decide to enter. Now ultimately what I was going to do was, if I hit TP here, I was going to do a partial close, but that did not give me the close, so it decided to go up, and I'll show you where I entered again. So there, so right there, when we're tagging that, I decide to enter another half of the position that I already have in, and I get entered in there. Now at this point there is another fair value gap that I see when I jump down. I believe so. Just going to see. So you've got that 3 minute fair value gap. The bodies are respecting the candle, and if I continue forward, we get a push down, if I'm not mistaken. So just back there, that was just me moving on to the news. So you'll see me move on to the news tab. That I constantly have this news tab open, just so that I know what I'm looking for or what I see. I think I've just missed it. Just give me 1 second, I'll see if I can go back into it. Okay. I'll come back to the news later. But what we have is the market continues to play here, and I finally do get my TP. So this is where I go into the 1 minute, and we've got this move here where I had the 3 minute fair value gap, but if I look above that, I've also got a 1 minute fair value gap, and there is where I'm thinking that they were trying to reach for. So if I continue, you'll see this is where we get the breakdown. So we continue to push forward. I decide to take off some profit here, just to cover my position, because I did take a losing trade prior to this trade. And what I do is I need to leave, but as I'm leaving, this is actually pushing down. So I think there is where I actually, right there. So this is where I actually close some partials again. So you'll see me close partials if I play this there. So you can see that went from 500 to 250. And what I do is, after I've done that, I actually move my stop loss to break even. The reason why I closed here and not at my original TP section was I had to leave, and I just wish I had held on for just a little bit more, because obviously what had happened was, you can see as I'm writing the note, the thing decided to push down. So I wish I'd actually waited and not wrote that note, but it is what it is. So I got out there and I brought it to break even. So that's the end of the video. But if I go into TradingView and I show you, so there's my markings, there's that 1 minute fair value gap, there's the 3 minute fair value gap, there's where I entered first time and this candle took me out, and then this is my second entry, and there's my second entry, there's my first entry at the second attempt, second entry at second attempt. There's a 1 minute fair value gap. Could have entered there, but I had my stop loss above, so I knew that if it was to come there, I'd be able to hold it. And at this point, you can see that is where I took, and that is where I also took and took partials. Now we did move below the 2-day low, and my stop loss originally was, I wanted to come down here for TP2, because I thought that they were going to go for this, which is the daily fair value gap, but that's not the case. So you can see the market in this candle here is where I actually got closed and got tapped out at break even, and you can see this whole and candles taking the buy side and the sell side, and then continue to push up. So obviously tomorrow I'll need to see how the market's looking. So if I go from here and I go to first, it's about 38 pips, and if I go to the next one, that's around about 45 pips. So again, happy with that. It was better than, it was better to come back and get my trade rather than just stop out and lose out. Quickly move into the daily time frame and just see what we're looking at. So daily time frame, what we've got is that we've had this push in here. We haven't broke this low. I'm not entirely sure which way it wants to go right now. But if I do look at the weekly, we have actually just touched that fair value gap and filled it in completely. So I'm thinking, do we want to continue to go up? Only time will tell, and I'll be able to see what's going on. But that was my trade. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, comment and like. And if I have a trade tomorrow, I will record it and show you, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow.